Hey, Bobby, look, I'm American.
I think I'll use my credit card. Do you guys have anything non-dairy? Anything gluten-free?
When I have finished bathing, it is time for me to relieve myself. Human, I demand that you open the portal to the outside world to allow me to empty the contents of my bladder. Do not take this for a joke. Perform this task immediately, or I will be forced to tinkle on your bedspread. This is your final warning, human. If you do not let me out immediately, I will piss on your bedsheets. Yes, outside! I am Fergus, and you will not deny me my urination!
Oh, okay.
Everyone's on our internet.
He's waving.
You're muted.
Muted.
Pull the masty.
Son of a bitch. Whoa, welcome to the Plumes of Hazard.
How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels very masty in here. Welcome to the Plumes of Hazard. I am always, as your host, the Angstful Vapor. To my left is the lovely, the talented Fubaka, and right down there below me is the master of blasters, the voider of warranties, Mass Blast 09.
Now, for this episode, I am just Modelo time, fool. No baka.
I am Dogfish Head Time. Cheers.
So, those two decided to have some alcohol on the show tonight. So I went and picked up. This is why I'm a minute late. Went and picked up some apple hour.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little of that tonight.
Nice. Oh, I bet you that smells delicious.
It does. It smells so good.
I can taste it from here.
So good. Thank you, as always, Todd, for telling me how to pronounce my my favorite bottle of whiskey, because I pronounced it wrong for years.
Oh, Amber Lamps?
Yeah, Amber Lamps.
Amber Lamps, yeah.
Amber Lamps.
No, I said Aberlour for a long time, and Todd at some point goes, Aberlour. I was like, oh, did not know. Now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know, and when you know, you know, then you know.
So I wanna thank 40% of people from out of state for showing up in our county today.
Oh, good.
To watch a rocket not go off and to spread the virus. So thank you.
Thank you, Elon Muskie.
This was a trust exercise, and we all failed.
You all failed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'll. I don't know. Let me see. I don't think I can share. The screen here, but I'll pull it up right now, Angsty, so you can see.
Yeah, you can do it.
Let me. Let's see. 524. So you can see what I'm talking about here. Let's see. All right. Let me switch my camera over to Le Manicombo. And
Are you gonna share it in the manicams?
yeah.
1 sec, I'll make you more bigger.
There you go. That was one of the causeways today.
Holy crap.
During the launch, as you can tell, everyone is wearing masks.
Yeah. Well, there's one guy.
And,
I see one guy, two guys.
There's a few that you can pin out, right? But here's the thing. They don't close these for people to walk on. Those fuckers just walk themselves on there, and there's cars stuck in this freaking. I mean, there's a mess.
Yeah, I was about to ask you if that was a walking causeway or a driving causeway. Because
if they close it down for the next launch, you could say they're rebels without a causeway.
They definitely do not. So, yeah,
that is crazy.
Here in they're trying again Saturday. So Saturday we'll just have another spike. Thank you. Come again. So there you go.
Nice.
Crazy stuff.
That is crazy stuff. Let me put us back on the other
but,
view. Here we go.
Cool to be part of history there. Seeing, dudes get blasted up into space again.
Mm-hmm.
Zero doesn't wear a mask. He wears the paper bags on his face that say his name on it. Do I have one handy by chance?
But the more important question is
right there.
Oh, shit.
Suddenly prop comic.
Wow, that was good. I like that.
I do have the one that I was given at the bank a couple of weeks ago. It's the only one I have. Still haven't worn it. Besides when I was sitting face to face with the teller that I was having to have a chat with, I didn't mind doing that because that's pretty close. But Texas, no, we're not really struggling with that at the moment, and
yeah,
it's certainly not stopping anybody outside because those sons of bitches are done. They're done with being inside. Whole streets playing together, the kids playing, the parents are sitting out in the driveways, with lawn chairs and beers and hanging out. No distancing, none of that.
Yep.
Except for at the stores. At the stores, they still, I think, the corporate mandated, X's and that kind of thing on the lines. Mm-hmm. That's about the only places I see it happening.
Well, I literally saw this guy coughing all over the fruits and vegetables area. I'm like, dude,
good.
Look, I don't care. Like, okay, don't wear a mask.
It's a dick move regardless.
Yeah, it's a dick move.
Don't cover your mouth. Yeah. Like, just use it. It literally was like that, where people just forgot all kinds of normal,
social norms
when you're out in public,
Yeah. And forget Corona for the moment, right? Just if you've got a cold or something, right? Yeah. You just don't go snotting all over food.
Yeah.
Like the most incriminating thing I did going out was like, I was going to shave anyway, but I had the trimmer and I just lined up one side of my somewhat beard and I left the house like that.
Mm.
Worst thing I've done. Mark's like, why would you do that? I'm like, do you think they give a fuck at the grocery store if my shit's not lined up? I eat dog mugs.
Man, there is some shit popping off in Minnesota right now.
I saw that in chat earlier. I haven't looked. I didn't have time to look at it though. What was it?
People looting and basically rioting because of the stuff that the cops were doing. Because of the arrest where they killed that guy.
Oh, right.
The whole.
Didn't they fire that guy though?
They fired all four of them.
They want charges, bro.
Yeah.
They fired him. They're gonna loot and riot anyway. What is this, Detroit?
Well, so
they probably still have their pensions.
So here's the thing. One video I saw is they found one of the police compounds, impound areas, right, where they have a bunch of police cars parked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people were just going in and destroying everything. Okay, I get it. You're fucking pissed, right? But here's the problem. That shit comes out of your pocket.
Right. They're just going to buy more cars.
Just going to buy. I have no problem with you fucking rioting and doing whatever, but remember, be angry, be mad, okay. But destroying public property is your property. Like, you're paying for it.
Hey, man, I'd rather get footed a bill for like $2 or $3 grand than civil lawsuits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Fuck that.
That said, I do feel like I need to have a stand. I do mind if you riot. Rioting's for stupid people. Protest all you want. Absolutely. Right. Get signs,
Sure.
march, write letters, shout at
Hey, the city of
politicians. I don't
Vancouver
care.
was totally just in rioting when Axl Rose decided not to show up to that show in the 90s. You know what I'm talking about.
Breaking into places and looting. I mean, I get it. It's mob mentality, and they're all just going and doing it. But man, it just hurts. It hurts the community.
It does, and that's always the funny part to me about when a tight knit community riots, like, and they're burning down their own like grocery corner stores and like dude,
yeah,
I know you're upset, and that's okay to be upset, but you're literally damaging Mr. Bill's corner store that you've been shopping at for 30 years. Why would you do that? Is that going to teach somebody a lesson?
We'll see. Let's see.
People want to do the right thing.
Let's see if they mess with don't be messing with the stores owned by Koreans. They're gonna shoot your ass.
Oh yeah, from fucking LA.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. They get up on that roof. It's sniper time, baby.
Speaking of which, I went into a pawn shop a couple weeks ago. I don't think I said this on the show. I was shopping for some shop equipment. I needed a new saw, and I was poking around to see if I can find one pre-owned, and that was one of the places I went to. And it was there were some brown people in there that ran the place, and I actually am not quite sure if they were Pakistani or what was the other that they kind of anyway they're somewhere in that region. I'm not exactly sure what specific
subcontinent.
They were lovely brown people, but the best part about that is before I even came in, there was a sign on the door that took up the entire door that said this in big letters, "This is not a gun-free zone." It's just like, hey, we're gonna shoot you if you come in here to try to rob us.
And see, like, the thing is that those kind of people, they're not gonna be carrying a handgun in their holster. Okay, they're gonna have a fucking 12 gauge double barrel underneath the counter already pointed at you. That all they gotta do is just go squeeze it and then blow your balls off. Yeah. And then they're gonna break out the fucking RPG launcher from Rambo that's got like 4 of them, and you're fucked. So don't do it.
Yeah, they were my kind of people. They were real nice too, and I had a brief exchange with them because they were busy with another customer, but they're all right. That kind of sign, I like that kind of sign. It makes me happy to be a Texan.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I when what was it a few years ago when those riots broke out up there in North Carolina or whatever? I mean, people died. Like, it just got crazy, man. It got crazy. Especially with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Speaking of rioting, I kind of want to write about the fucking GTA servers since they gave the goddamn game away for free. Not my servers.
Well, not anymore though.
There are still some days where I can't launch, depending on the time of day. Just can't
I'm just saying the game's not free anymore. It's like,
no, it's not free anymore, but the damage was done.
Yeah.
They gave it away free for a week. Granted, all the rest of the homies that were too much of broke bitches to buy it over the last 7 years finally got in on it.
Right.
Sure.
But otherwise, it's been fun to get, like Chance. How you see how much he's been enjoying that game? It is like a shitlord's paradise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, GTA is awesome. I'm playing a fuckload of it.
So I'm gonna talk real quick about this glass.
So, that's
it's a glass within a glass.
That's vacuum sealed, right, or something. It's got the.
So a buddy of mine sent this to me years ago as a gift for Christmas. He's a colleague of mine. It's a glass by Norlin, and it is insulated. It's a double insulated thing. But the interesting thing about it is not necessarily the fact that it's double insulated, which it is, but the interesting thing about it is the inside shape, which is the actual shape of the glass, of course, is a nosing glass, but it's a proper like lowball style glass that you can hold, and you don't look like you're like holding a little mini champagne flute when you're drinking a whiskey. You can actually have like a normal sort of glass, but still get the effects of a proper nosing glass, which I think is really cool. And they're not very expensive either. The Norland things, they come in like a whiskey bottle shaped container, and you get like a microfiber cloth to clean them and stuff, and it's pretty cool. $50 or something like that for a couple is nice. We did have a question at the beginning. Todd was asking whether or not we talked about vaping anymore. We occasionally talk about vaping. It is a lifestyle podcast at this point for sure. But that said, I actually have vaping news for the first time in a very long time. But before we get there, since Todd's here, I will tell you, everybody, that if you are not following Todd, and you certainly should, on the social medias, he's releasing his own atomizer.
Oh, snap.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I thought he already did, and I forgot about it.
It's been coming for a while. You probably heard it.
I think that's probably why.
Yeah.
I feel like it was one of those, I know I heard about it at some point, and I just assumed it happened, and my head was under a rock.
Right. So he worked with the Van Adel, good old Sasha Barak, and I don't know how you say his last name. Is it Barak or Barak? I don't know. I think it's BRAC. Anyway, doesn't matter. Van Adel. He worked with those guys. Mega Tank. Yes, Duro. It is made in China, but they did that so their price could stay down, right? So it's apparently made to a good enough quality to where they can charge a small enough. I believe Todd's statement to me is enough to get a coffee and maybe a couple biscuits, but not making hand over fist, but make it affordable and make it something that he wanted to do as a creative exercise, which I think is really kind of cool. We did this, yeah. Hashtag sellout, says Todd. But he's been, releasing some information on this stuff. If you're in the shed, you can find links to go over to join the other group, because he doesn't spam his own group with that stuff, because he's a classy kind of guy like that. I am definitely interested. I'm waiting for it to come out. I mean, as anybody that's watching this show for a while, this has been my primary dog for years at this point. But even if it is an RTA, I'm still gonna buy it because it's Todd, and I want to see what he and Sasha figured out. Oh, Duro, my glass was made in China. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't know where it's made. All I know is it's freaking cool design, and it's got little ribby guys in the bottom to get more surface area.
A few years ago, the one was really popular was one with the bullet stuck in it. Mm-hmm. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yep.
Well, people started complaining about it because those are obviously custom, right? Mm-hmm. There's not like a mold that they're making those in.
Right.
And they were breaking because people were hitting the edge of the bullet, and I don't know if I have a picture to show, but it's the glass and it's got an actual bullet.
Yeah.
Just the copper it's a copper piece, not a real lead, but on the side, and it's pushed into the glass, and people were hitting that, just breaking it real easily.
Sure.
So, so spending a lot of money on fancy stuff that breaks.
Sure. So that's actually really interesting, Duro. I didn't know that Portland was made in China. It doesn't surprise me. Again, I have no idea. It's priced a little bit more than what I would expect of something out of China. If that's the case, then I would expect it to be a relatively high quality then, because you can get nice stuff that come out of China, right? You just got to pay for it. They'll make, most of those factories will make to your specs, right? You can, if you don't mind paying per, the unit price a little bit higher. Yeah, they'll make it nice, but they'll also pump them out cheap if you want to too, using that Chinesium, baby. So there's that. So my vape mail. This just came in today. So Mr. Ace, I think I told you guys about this a few days ago. Not a few days ago. This is actually weeks ago. But I went to go pull out my walnut freehand, which I have not used. It's literally still had the stickers on top, kind of thing, that I haven't used it. And my 510 was busted. It was a little bit out of spec. So I contacted them. They, being Limelight, they said, yeah, we'll just send you a new freehand. By the way, or not a freehand, we'll send you a new 510. And by the way, one of the things I love about Limelight, use the serviceable parts, right? So they've got this nut, the bottom nut there is, it's already on the mod, it's already wired up and soldered up. All you got to do is take it out with the little thingies. I mean, you can use your own, but they I don't even know if they offer these anymore, if this was like a special thing, but they sold these little these tiny little wrenches. They were super thin that are obviously the right size to take that double nut off. So I get to use that because I already took it apart and found out that was being the problem. Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. So now I can upgrade my little walnut freehand and have something a little bit different. Maybe something a little different.
I don't have vape mail, but I have an update on my art project, my watercolor piece.
Nice.
Hold on, let me pin you. That's worth a pin.
That is great.
I did this in 9mm. And so you can see the darker ones are the more recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
This is last week. I rotated it so.
I was gonna say you filled it out. You filled it out from last time.
I'm going, a little bit of an avant-garde design.
Mm-hmm.
So
you must have been a little juicier this week because they're less circles and more like circles with a hole in the middle, like a drip tip shape. Now they're like blobs.
Well, it depends. So sometimes I think there's something there, and maybe like a little bit will come out. Sometimes I'll just leave it there for a second because I'll be in the middle of something else. So it'll sit there and pool. So you'll see like that one. That one there. Like that one was a definite pull job. That one as well.
Yeah.
That one.
I was noticing the darker ones all look pooly.
Yeah, those are the more recent ones. And I unintentionally used it as a coaster for my iced coffee this morning. So some of the original work from last week got smudged some. So
Todd, that's a really good question. How long ago was it that I had Day on the show? That was a while back. Him and his creepy long spider monkey fingers. I think, in fact, it may have been so long back that it was one of our pun names, and it would be impossible to find it by searching. Because the last couple of years, we've been doing mostly like some sort of reference to either what the show's going to be about or current events more often than not, right? Some sort of take on something that's in the ethos, in the zeitgeist. And finding those old shows, man, that would be really. Thanks, Stu. Tiny wrench time officially replaces tweezer time. Fantastic. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Stu. Ugh. I'm getting a lot of text today.
Texty.
Well, my mom got sick and had to go into some sort of like a emergency style doctor today, which was no cool. But she's okay now, if anybody's worried about it. I know nobody's worried about it. Just me.
Man, for a second there, I thought you were talking about FASTEC of doctors. The emergency style of the doctor.
Doctor style doctor? Yeah.
Doctor style doctor. So, dude, you know what's crazy is the amount of people who were forced to start doing the video calls for doctors.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, like I wanted to ask a friend of mine who's a nurse. I was like, why didn't we do this before? And she's like, well, because insurance didn't want to pay for it.
Oh, is that right?
What? Yeah.
So it wasn't a proper visit?
Yeah,
for
a lot of
insurances.
Yeah, a lot of insurances didn't want to. And I'm like, well, they got fucked in the ass because now they had to pay for it, you know? So
that's actually a pretty interesting sort of idea. I'd never really considered that not being a true visit. Or them trying to argue that's not a true visit, because clearly it is, right? If you're sitting down with a doctor, even if it's across a video camera or in person, it's still a sit down with a doctor.
Yeah. Yep.
But
no, and there's one of the things that she was saying was last 2 months they have seen a huge rise in let's say people were on a prescription medication and it was like 0.5 milligram or whatever, and people had been doing the video calls and asking for a higher dosage because everything that's been going on, whether it's an antipsychotic or antidepressant medication or anything like that.
Yeah.
So he said that some doctors are just like, yeah, go do it, no problem, and some are like, okay, we'll jack it up for a month, 30 days, see how it goes.
Yeah.
But after that, you're going back down to your normal, so that's gotta be tough, because obviously in person you can, I know the video does quite a bit, but in person you can kind of tell more, but yeah, it's rough.
That's a good point. I have been told with some of my friend groups and through my church that that they are seeing a large spike in anxiety, a large spike in depression. So I can definitely see that being the case, right? I mean, people that work on charitable sort of things.
Yep.
We gotta work hard, cut out for us, right? There's a lot of stress right now,
yeah,
and a lot of very justified. I'm not diminishing that either. That there's a lot of justified stress out there, not just because of the virus, but because of job loss and having to be trapped in home. And
I can tell you, if you have anyone who has had depression or addiction or anything like that, check in on them because I'm telling you that these past few months have been rough on those people.
They have.
Those people have a schedule that they follow, whether they were going to NA meetings or AA meetings or whatever with support groups and stuff like that. And you haven't been able to do that,
Right.
So you think, me and you, we got jobs, we got family, all that, we got stuff to worry about, but people like that have more on top of everything that they're doing, right? So it's a lot of pressure on them to deal with everything they had going on and not being able to get that support. You break out of that form that you have been in for a few months, and it's rough. So
but by the way, I was definitely smiling at chat, by the way, not at what you were talking about.
No.
I realized all of a sudden I was grinning at chat. I'm like, oh, he's talking about something that is not funny. I should not be grinning. Oh man. Ace, what's up, man? Look what came in today. Eee. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Can't wait to get that thing installed in there. Todd threw down one of my favorite Toddisms, which is "get pumped." I like "get pumped." It's a funny phrase. I like it. We do terrible things to ourselves during isolation. That's true. Horror, absolutely. And I think, we joked about it. I mean, I know the three of us joked about it at the very beginning of this, right before we got all super serious about how some of us are cut out for this, right? We've been practicing our entire lives. I still stand by
that statement,
right? But even me, who is quite a homebody, and has I'm definitely the introvert side of things, where people drain me as opposed to fill me, or fill my emotional tank up, so to speak. I'm on the opposite side of that, right? But even me, at this point, man, it's even dragging
like a random old woman on the street. You just give her a hug.
Hey, just you go here. Okay, that's nice. Bring it in, Granny. Yeah.
I saw my niece and nephew over the weekend on Sunday, and we all had masks on and such. And I asked them, like, "Are your parents okay with me hugging you?" They're like, "No." And so then I gave my nephew a loving smack upside the head. He knew it was coming.
What was that for? You probably deserved it.
No, he knew it was coming. He wasn't quick enough. He's quick, but this hand is quicker.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you bastard, Ace! I'm so glad you didn't send me the Gloomton back.
Hey, look, you would have been not happy if you sent it, but the second that thing needs to be serviced, you're gonna just look at it and be like, "Guess you're the side bitch again."
That's right. Yeah, Tim, that's right. The kids stuck at home. People stuck at home and sure, but yeah, kids getting out of school and stuff. I keep hearing from all my friends about how the kids are just going absolute stir crazy, and they just want to be out. So yeah, boot them out, right? Let them run around. Just stay away from other people for a little while. It's almost done.
My brother bought his kids bikes and sent them because they live near some parks. They're just like, here, go, ride the path, come back.
Yeah,
and they're gone for like an hour or two, and then it's just like, I mean, granted, they're not like terribly annoying, but it's like,
yeah, it's a house.
Shit gets stuffy.
It does get stuffy. You're right. It doesn't matter how big your house is either.
That's the thing. Like, I'm home, yeah, but I'm like, I have to walk every day. Like, I probably take a couple before dinner. So as long as I'm at least doing that, because that's what I do normally.
Right.
But this weather's getting fucking gross. Hasn't been the smoothest transition into spring. We had like a couple of warm, dry days. Now it's like muggy.
So we were talking before we went live, Fu, about cereal.
Yes, we were.
And I realized that I hadn't eaten yet. So I started eating something that... what was the cereal you were talking about?
Cracklin' Oat Bran.
Yeah, so these sesame sticks that I've got, they look a lot like Cracklin' Oat Bran, don't they?
No, I mean, so Cracklin' Oat Bran, they're like squares.
Oh, I thought they were like long, skinny little things like that.
No,
like
that's
turds.
another cereal. I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of it. Is it
Okay.
Crispix?
No, Crispix is a hexagon.
Right. Fuck, that's gonna bother me now. Because
Yeah.
I remember I'd always see that cereal on the shelf and it's like, it never looked appetizing. But I was telling Anxie before he did the show that, as you know, I've eaten cereal on previous episodes back when I was living in the house. But I can't be trusted with cereal, more or less.
Yeah.
I made boxes disappear within the same day, within 2 hours, you know?
Yeah.
So I straight up have given it up since I moved in here. And that's the fuck out of it. Like, it's like, honestly, like, especially now that it's warm out, and cereal, honestly, is like, with some ice fucking cold milk is like one of the best things you could eat on a hot summer night, in my opinion.
Sure.
So there's some honey bunches, some multigrain Cheerios. I'm completely over Honey Nut Cheerios, by the way.
Oh, is it because of Jay's post?
Did he post something about Honey Nut Cheerios? No.
It was like a month or two ago. He posted something that ruined Honey Nut Cheerios for me. You keep talking. I'm gonna go look for the picture.
Oh, was it about the vanilla flavoring?
No.
Okay, I had to ask.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, that part didn't bother me, but there's so the multigrain Cheerios are good. I think they're better, actually. They kind of like a toasty flavor to them, but there's something in the Honey Nut Cheerios, you know, because I don't eat one bowl. There's no such thing as one bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, let's be real.
Right.
But it's like this really weird / bad taste I get. You know, like sometimes you eat something and you taste something, you didn't taste it going down and burp it up, and you're just like, what the fuck is that aftertaste?
That oat.
I get that weird, I don't know what the fuck it is that causes it, but whatever's in the Honey Nut Cheerios is not multigrain. Because, yeah, those burps.
Oh, it's not in multigrain.
Not in multigrain.
Interesting.
So it's probably like something. I'll have to like do a side-by-side box comparison next time I'm at Costco. But yeah. Multigrain Cheerios are good, and I am a opponent of mixing cereal. You don't just come up with this, you fall into it when you have siblings, and there's not enough fucking cereal left in the box for a full bowl, so you gotta get creative. Call it cereal DJing, if you will. Like Cheerios, make a great mixer.
Really?
Mix Cheerios, yeah. Cheerios with Frosted Mini Wheats. Frosted Mini Wheats is like in my top 5.
Oh, I like the mini wheats.
Yeah, mix them with Cheerios. Fantastic. It sounds weird, but I tried it. I think that was my brother's idea. I think I could do a show about cereal, at least like a couple. But where's some other good mixes we got? Yeah, so mini wheats and Cheerios. Then you got Frosted Flakes and Cocoa Pebbles, and/or Fruity Pebbles, whichever one. You know, you gotta eat that shit quick though. If anyone's eating both cereals, you know they get soggy quick.
Which one?
Frosted Flakes and Cocoa Pebbles.
Oh,
that's a solid mix.
Cocoa Pebbles is instant sogginess. I can't eat them.
You gotta speed run that shit.
Yeah,
but it's so good.
I never got that when I was a kid, so I never really fell in love with it. I don't have any like nostalgia about it. But
Cocoa Pebbles, that was
any of the
Pebbles.
Pebbles. But I had some at some point, and I was like, oh no, it's just soggy already.
Honey Bunches and Cheerios goes good. I'm a Honey Bunches with almonds guy. The cinnamon one's also really good. You can mix the cinnamon and almond one together. That's really, really good. That's also up there.
There's no way I'm finding this picture. It was from a couple months ago.
I think something else I had talked about. I don't know if I talked about it here or somewhere else, but when I discovered the joys of peanut butter powder.
Yeah.
For that, mixes in with the milk. So fucking good. So you can do it with cherry, yeah, you can just name any. I wasn't huge on honestly, I hate Lucky Charms.
Really?
Never liked them. Never liked them.
No kidding.
Well, because granted, we didn't eat them in my house growing up because they had gelatin in them, right? Grew up in a pork-free household, but I was sleeping over a friend's house, and I'm like, okay, it's my time to sin, right? So I ate Lucky Charms, and I was just didn't like the cereal marshmallows. I was just it was like Lucky Charms are like the cake batter ice cream of cereal. It's just sugar and no real taste,
It reminded me of Cheerios.
Yes, I don't know. The marshmallows really grind my gears. I don't like them. I don't like the texture of them.
The marshmallows are very strange. I agree.
That's why you go. That's why people eat them, though.
I'll give you that.
So I'm just
I'm back.
Hero, that's precisely why. Because, you probably, it's really hard to just eat one bowl of something.
I'm back 3 months in our chat. And I found a reference where I referenced it. And it was from a few days before that. So now I'm scrolling.
Scrolling.
Yeah. I'm going to keep doing it too.
Duro, no, I have no plans to revisit Lucky Charms. Their cereals half as sweet as that I wouldn't revisit. Dude, and plus Mini Wheats. Mini Wheats is it's fucking good.
Yeah, Mini Wheats are good. I like Mini Wheats.
The best. They're up there. The Mini Wheats, the Honey Bunches with the almonds, the Crackling Oat Bran, Cocoa Pebbles. Here, a very underrated cereal? Banana Nut Crunch.
Never got into that one.
It's in that same lineage of old people cereal with grape nuts.
Yeah.
I forget the other one. Dates and pecans, I think is the other one.
Is that
I just knew him as the holy trinity of old people cereals from Post.
Now
it was grape nuts, banana nut crunch, I think dates and almonds or something.
So when I was a kid, my folks would buy grape nuts, and I actually got to where I kind of liked them because I only ate them out of a bowl like this size, like a little guy with a little honey.
You pour this much grape nuts and that much milk.
Yeah, and you gotta. There's this magical amount of time where they're just soft enough to not break your teeth, and not soggy.
Right. I cracked the film on the grape nuts. Haven't gone back since.
It is a lot like chewing gravel. I agree.
And about that. Crackling Oat Bran, as soon as that shit gets a little bit soft, it is awesome. But goddamn, do not eat too much of that. That is one cereal you cannot OD on because you have wet concrete in your stomach for 12 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to plug you up.
It's a very dense cereal, but it is so goddamn good.
I feel like I'm so close.
Todd peanut butter powder is a thing. It is fucking fantastic. And it is a great thing to add to protein shakes too. There's a lot you can do with it. You can add them to batters. You can add them to pancakes. What is powder? Fuck. Add it. But yeah, peanut butter powder is the thing because peanut butter itself, again, very easy to OD on. Very, very, very high in calorie. So that's where peanut butter powder comes in.
Well, and obviously peanut butter is pretty high calorically, at least the normal over-the-counter stuff.
Yeah, normal peanut butter. The powder you can add to stuff.
Yeah.
And get very nice peanut butter flavor. It's really popular in baking.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is something I learned years ago. That peanut butter is kind of it's very American, which
my man Carver.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I knew that, but even now, 100 years later, it still hasn't made it over to Europe, for example. It's just not.
Yeah, you don't when I get European chocolates, you'll never get ones that have peanut butter in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not taken I guess not taking it seriously over there. But
yeah, and they just don't have that memory as a kid of having PB&J
or Reese's peanut butter cup.
Which is too bad because obviously those are pretty
PB&J, yes. I blame my parents for never introducing me to peanut butter and banana. I had to discover that one as a teenager.
So, speaking of which, I have something that's kind of gross. So my mom, when I was a kid, would talk about this particular sandwich that she likes to make on occasion. And it is peanut butter, bananas, and on one side of the bread, mayonnaise.
Grilled or not grilled?
Not grilled, but it could be grilled. And I hate mayonnaise, like just as a rule, but it's not bad. I've tried it before. It's kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of good. Oh my God, this is taking forever. I'm still scrolling. This must have been one of the busy days. Must have been one of the... Oh yeah, they were talking about chili cheese hot dogs earlier. I think it was horror.
Remember we in Tulsa and we had the cream cheese on our dogs? That was pretty good.
Oh shit. That was... Oh my God, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that weird
That was like one of the worst shits I took.
Yeah. Very strange.
We were hammered, then we got fucking hot dogs with like cream cheese and shit on them, like the spicy one. I'll never forget because Sean was leaving before I was rooming with him. So he's already sleeping. I'm still drinking.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't think this was the same night. I think it was the next night. I'm still drinking. We'd eaten something equally as bad for dinner. I don't remember what that was, but I dropped a bomb in the bathroom so bad. Now, this is like at 3:00 in the morning. I knew this, right? When the night was over, I took I shit out a demon, more or less. And it was like, where you're just like, did that really come out of me kind of moment?
Yeah.
Did you exercise your demons?
Dude, it stunk. And then Sean said, because he woke up and left before, I was still in bed when he bounced. I think he woke me up to say peace out. He's like, yeah, the bathroom still stunk when I had a shower. That was at 9:00.
Nice.
I was like, wow, that was... I mean, it's a hotel bathroom. There's no ventilation. Couldn't open the window. And the best I could do was leave the door open.
Right.
So...
Yeah, no, the hotel bathrooms are almost by just a rule awful for ventilation. They're really quite bad. Oh my God, I still haven't found this. Yeah. I found several other ones that are really funny, but I'm not going to post them because they're awful. There's a guy on a dating thing. Got a message from the dating app. The person that was texting him said top or bottom, and he said bottom, but sometimes mid. Is
that a League of Legends reference?
Yeah, it was a League of Legends reference.
I'm a mid laner. First game.
Still haven't found it. Fuck, it's terrible. I'm going to do it. My scrolling finger is going to be very tired tonight.
I think the next time I go over to my sister's place, I'm going to finally break the drought and have a bowl of mini wheats.
You need to hit that button and just let it roll.
Yeah, well, the problem is you got to wait for it to load. So I'm going slowly. But you're right. The middle button scroll, it's loading fast enough now I can do that.
So I called the construction company that cut the fiber last week, and I said, guys, give it a break, please, this week. So, yeah, so fucked. I was talking to my father-in-law who still works for AT&T. I mean, he's been with them for 28 years, some crazy shit. Down south, he works at one of the COs.
Yeah.
And I was like, so, you have a fun time? He's like, shit, I was on vacation that day. I didn't hear nothing. I'm like, damn. But he did say that when he started, or not when he started, but back in '92 when Andrew hit, he said he was walking out for his week off or something, and as he was walking by the NOC, the Network Operations Center, mind you, this is 92. The guys were like, "Wait, what just happened? What just happened?" And he just walked out. So like 2 days later, he gets called in an emergency because apparently the EPA was down there doing core samples, and they cored and pulled up a wire that was like a 105 pair wire that connected two of the COs together. So they basically split Florida from Miami and the Keys.
Oh boy!
Like, yeah, I'm like, holy shit. He said, yeah, it took them like a week to fix that, and then work through all the trouble tickets and clear everything. So yeah, it was a signaling cable. So that signaling cable gave controlled all of the just straight up pot lines, all the telephone lines back and forth. So, but yeah, that fiber cut was crazy up there in Jacksonville. They knocked out everyone who was on that network.
Did they figure out, was it a construction guy or something that cut
it was a construction company up in Jacksonville. It was on the news, and they severed one of the main truck lines for AT&T coming out of Florida. And what people don't understand, people are like, "Oh my God, AT&T's only got one line coming out." Listen, a fucking trunk line is legit like this fucking big, and it carries all kinds of fiber in it.
Fiber.
So you hit that. That's like hitting the fucking cable that goes out to overseas. You cut that bitch, you can't just weld it together. So the problem is the next morning, like at 5 a.m, they were pulling the new line from the two endpoint locations, and they snapped the line underground. So they didn't know where it snapped, and it literally came apart.
You snapped.
So they had to dig and find it and all that. I'm like, man, bad time. That fucking contractor probably ain't doing business anymore. So, but, yep. Yeah, and it was weird too because connectivity, and the problem, the thing is that 90% of people were like, everything's fine. I'm on Netflix. I can see everything, no problem. Yeah, because Netflix has fucking CDNs at each, city's location. So you're serving the content from there. You're not serving the content from Netflix's servers up in wherever the fuck.
Right.
Or, out of Florida. But if you were trying to hit a site that was not hosted locally, you better have had a VPN or something to punch out. So
is the child above me coming through? Because I'm about to load a super soaker full of Benadryl. And
I just heard it. Super soaker.
Full of Benadryl.
All right.
Ugh. Awful. I scrolled by something I shouldn't have. I was like, There's a few of those in the server. Every now and then. Usually from Shift Hordes. Or Brian. Ugh. Some of the stuff that guy comes up with. All right, I can't find it. At some point, I'll go back and look for it. Maybe I'll share it next week. So, shared my vape mail. Shared my whiskey. Shared my whatever. I think that's all I got. Do you got anything else to talk about tonight?
I mean, I don't. I mean, I could talk about cereal more, but
I'll tell you one game that I've been playing. I've been revisiting Okami. So they re-released Okami HD. They basically just HD'd the old one. I think was it PSX or was it PS2? Maybe in PS2. I picked the game up when I was much younger, obviously, and just on a whim, and it was really fun. Like I really enjoyed it. It's a really weird kind of game, kind of maybe Zelda-like, like an action adventure kind of thing. And I saw that they released it in HD a while back, and I picked it up for the PS4. It's not bad. It's still entertaining. It's a very pretty game.
Remember that indie game I linked in the Slack last week, Fury? I just discovered this game. It came out in 2016, FURI. It was an indie game developed in France. I found the soundtrack through a streamer I was watching, and I was just like, okay, first of all, this soundtrack is fucking amazing. The problem with this game is it is very rage-inducing from everything I've read. It's like it's an acid trip mixed with like Shinobi, Strider, Contra kind of rage-inducing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I may pull the trigger on it. It's only like $8 for a key, so
it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, go watch if y'all go look up the trailer. It's a very well cut trailer. Looks like interesting enough game. So you just kill shit and do it really fast and dodge all kinds of fireballs. And
Is it like a bullet hell kind of thing, or is it like a just like a roguelike kind of thing, or what?
It is kind of roguelike. You're like a samurai kind of guy.
Okay.
It's a modern take on like that, Shinobi Contra type thing, in my opinion, with wacky colors. So
like side scrollers.
Yeah, it is kind of like a modern side scroller, but it's more than that at the
right
same time. So if I don't have any hair next week, you know why.
That's why. Still can't find it. Okay, I'm tired of scrolling. I am going to go probably play a little bit more economy. By the way, I did try to go. I'm still trying to push through the 4th season of Arrested Development. As usual, enjoy the first 3 seasons. The 4th one, I'm farther now than I have been ever in 4th season.
I'm trying to push through the last season of Psych. It's painful.
It's the same way. Same way over here. Never even made it to the 5th season. Maybe the 5th season picks up. Maybe.
Psych?
Yeah. No. 5th season of Arrested Development.
No, I'm saying like the 5th season of Psych, I think, was like the last solid one in my opinion.
And it went wacky. Yeah, it's got a little.
Honestly, it had a better run than most other USA shows. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, everybody. Yeah. Thank you for joining us this week for the Plumes of Hazard, talking a little bit about vaping and a lot about a bunch of other stuff. But hopefully, it was entertaining. I hope that you have enjoyed it. It gave you a little bit of break from the quarantine. We're slowly inching towards the reopening up, which is great. Maybe we can all get outside a little bit and high five some buddies.
Yeah. Streets of Rage 4 came out last month. I think I might pick that up too.
Nice.
Actually, I'm not going to pick it up. It's already on IP. I don't know. I'm not going to say the website.
If anybody's stressed out about this thing, maybe reach out to a friend. If you're really stressed out, maybe reach out to a counselor. Talk to somebody. Don't let this get in your head. This is going to pass. It'll be over.
It'd be a good time to talk to a homeless person.
True.
There you go. Yeah,
True.
get some perspective, right?
I had a guy ask me for money outside of Burger King, and I was just like, I don't have any cash. I'm like, or any change on me, right? I want to get my food. I come out. He's like, hey, my man. I'm like, you already asked me, dude.
Dude, there was a homeless guy. Real quick, there was a homeless guy that would sit over here right off the highway all the time. And I struck up a conversation with him one day when I was sitting there waiting on the light. Yeah. And I said, you know what? If I see this guy out again, I was like, I'm just going to tell him, get in and let's go grab something to eat. And I did. I fucking took him and got him something to eat. And the dude legit was homeless. He showed me where his camp was, where he would sleep. He gave me his story about, what had happened, and just, normal, cool dude. I'm like, so if I look your name up, are you going to have an arrest record? And he's like, no. He's like, I've never been arrested, nothing. I mean, I've gotten harassed about standing here, and I've gotten threatened with being arrested. He goes, but, and I was like, we just normal, person. Now, obviously, you get the people that make bank and then get in their car and leave. And, I asked him about that. And he was like, oh, yeah. He goes, the corner down there by the Walgreens, that's what they do. That's where those guys stand and they park behind the Walgreens, and then they get back, they get in. Yeah. And so he said, if I had more cardboard and more permanent markers, I'd be over there making fun of them. Basically saying these guys have a car. So, but yeah. Anyways,
have a car.
Fuck yeah, call them out.
That's right.
It's funny.
The homeless call out. I love it. Yeah. Anyway, you guys have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. You all kick ass. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll talk soon.
Peace, y'all.
Deuces.
Peace.